Hey everyone, this is Rachel, and today I'm here with a new scrapbooking process video. Thanks so much for joining me here, and I hope you enjoy. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome, and I would love it if you would become a subscriber. You can also click on the notification bell so you always know when I have a new video up. Alright folks, let's get going! Hello everyone, and welcome to the Secret Not Secret Kit Club telephone hop. If you are following along in the hop, I am taking off from Hannah Lemieux's layout. For those of you who are unaware of what this is, it's a one day following another hop on different groups, and just like the game telephone you may have played when you were a child, we get to look at just the person in front of us previous day of us layout. So all I see is Hannah Lemieux's layout, but she followed someone else's layout, and then the person before her followed someone else's layout, and so on and so forth. I am second to last in this particular group called the Scrappy Shenanigans, and following me tomorrow will be MK Gunn, and all she will see is my layout, and then you will see her take on my layout. And then what you get to do is once all of the layouts have been revealed, you can go and see the shift from the first layout to the last layout. It's always a lot of fun. It's always really interesting to see everyone's different takes on the original layout, or if someone chose a sketch, the original sketch. So hopefully you will head back on over to the Secret Not Secret Kit Club Facebook group and check out all of the layouts. In the description box below, I will have everyone's link to their YouTube channels listed. Up on the screen, hopefully now, if I manage to do this correctly, will be Hannah's layout that I am lifting. As you can see, Hannah does amazing work with mixed media. I am going to be doing mixed media as well, perhaps not as heavily as Hannah does, just because that's more my style. Also, you'll see Hannah sews. I do not, so I will not be integrating sewing into my layout. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. Before I do, I just want to remind you, if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Also, I am working with a page kit I put together. I have some fancy pants, Life is Beautiful, which is from 2016. And then I've also brought in a sheet of paper from Simple Stories Summer Farmhouse, which is a recent release, I believe. Am I crazy? No, it's 2020. I had this left over from a page kit, and it works color-wise, and I think it's going to work. In Hannah's, she uses frames. I'm thinking I want to use these 2x2 squares as part of the background, so that seems interesting. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm also using for my background some Basil Marshmallow cardstock, which is a thicker cardstock. Since I'm just going to be doing a little bit of mixed media, I won't be adding a lot of water. I'm going to go ahead and not bother to gesso this. If I were doing anything where I was trying to create watercoloring effects, I would go ahead and gesso it just to reduce the amount of buckling. All right, I think I've chattered at you enough. I'm going to go ahead and get you on fast forward, so let's get going. All right, while I'm picking out my paper and everything, I just quickly want to say my camera work went awry. I accidentally stopped my camera. I will come back to you at the end in real life and talk about what I did that you guys missed, but I will explain everything that happened in real time, so I don't want to talk about it. So let's just start talking about the layout. Now, I'm going to stick pretty close to what Hannah did in the sense of placement of photos and placement of papers. Our two layouts are going to look incredibly different. Hannah's layout is very botanical, very nature inspired, very organic in the sense of her color choices, and just the entire thing looks very like it comes from nature. Because of the subject of my layout, I look nothing like that. It is very in-your-face, bright colors, more of a modern take than the organic style of Hannah's. But
the elements are all still there, which is one of the things I really like about this particular series that I've done several times now with the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, is that it is so very interesting to see everyone's different takes on everything. So I've got these two pieces of paper, both from Fancy Pants. Now, the notebook paper, and then I am taking that diagonal stripe paper, and I ripped two separate pieces from it. And so I really wanted that that same paper, but to be separated. So that was really important to me. Now, I am going to be doing some mixed media, as I stated in my introduction, but I wanted to see where the papers that were going to run along the left-hand side of my layout would end up before I started the mixed media, which is why I'm starting by doing this rather than the stripes of mixed media. So I'm using my liquid glue to get these together. I really liked the idea of creating all that texture over there. As I said in the introduction, Hannah used sewing. I'm using tearing, and then I'm layering both of those stripe pieces over each other in different, like, part of it is over on one end and then it's under at the top. So you're really getting a lot of texture over there without me having to break another sewing machine. I have no talent in sewing whatsoever. So now that I have an idea of where those papers end up, I'm going to pull out a paintbrush and my Dina Wakley, I believe it's called Sky. It's like a light blue, not quite aqua, but just a light blue. So I add a little bit of water to it, and I'm just very simply going to be creating stripes. Now, it's easier for me to create straight lines going up and down than it is going side to side, which is why I'm doing these lines going down. I am going to turn my paper and have those stripes be horizontal as they are in Hannah's layout. So I just wanted to understand why I'm doing them vertically, and simply because personally I find painting stripes up and down, they end up straighter. I'm now taking the wand from my Distress Oxide in Mustard Seed spray, and I'm just dragging that along. Now, in Hannah's, I believe I'm guessing what she used yet, because I have not obviously watched her video, as it's not out yet when I'm voiceovering and when I film this, but I believe she used a black pen. I decided not to use the black because, as I said, my layout is more pop culture-y, pop-ish, if that makes sense. The color scheme doesn't lend to black, so I went with that mustard seed instead. I then took the same mustard seed and used it to spatter, a lot of spattering going on. I then added from my shimmers stuff some velveteen green, and then this pink color is called Sweetheart. Now, the section over on the left hand side, that's actually going to be completely covered up, but that's fine. I do that quite often with mixed media, where you end up covering up a lot of it, and it's totally okay to do that. So everything is dry now, and I'm just going ahead and laying down my paper. So in case you're wondering, basically you get through, as I said, all of my paper placement and the mixed media. Once I start to do my embellishing, that's when my video cuts off. So I will talk you through what I did with the majority of my embellishing in real time. I cannot believe I did that. But I will say, it turns out to be a really cute layout. It was a funny story. This summer I have been just completely in love with slushes from Sonic. We have a Sonic sort of close-ish to us. Not really close-ish, but not like super far away. So one day I said jokingly to my nephew, bring me the largest slush they make. Assuming the largest slush they make is a large. I was unaware they have this massively giant size called the Route 44, and he actually brought it to me, and it was massive. And the I put his size medium next to it just to show how huge it was. And so I just wanted to document that story. So yeah, so that's a medium. That would be like the normal size to get. And I really just wanted a large for that particular day. And, as I said, jokingly said, bring me the largest one they have. And as I said, I was unaware. So I'm going to start layering my photo, and then 2 of those 2x2 squares, the one that has the flowers and then the word summer, which is actually going to become part of my title. And so I layer that on the floral piece. And so when I layer papers, I like to go back and forth where I have a multiple color one, and then I have either a tone on tone or a single color with a neutral, whether it be white or black, and then same thing. So I go from the multicolor floral to the tone on tone green to the multicolor plaid. And I was just checking with the plaid to make sure, because I'm going to be using those 2x2s as part of my embellishments, I wanted to make sure there wasn't one I absolutely loved behind the point where I was going to use that plaid, the B side of that, for my embellishment. So I pull out the sun, and I think it says happy summer or something like that. And then I really like the sunglasses and the watermelon. I don't know if I end up using those. I don't remember. You'll see that in the real-time part. We're actually at this point coming very close to when my camera turns off and I come back in real time. Once I finish this once I start this cluster down here at the bottom is when I accidentally turn my camera off, like a genius that I am. So I just want to say, and I will say this obviously at the end of my in real life section, thank you guys so much for joining me here. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to check out MK Gunn's video tomorrow, as well as all the other YouTubers who are participating in this run of the Secret Not Secret Kit Club telephone game. Here I come up to you in real time.
Hey everyone, so much apologies. You have missed 3/4 of my layout. I had an alarm go off and I turned it off, and I forget that sometimes when that happens, I accidentally turn the video off. So I think you saw one of my 2x2 square clusters, this one down here. I then added 2 more in lieu of what Hannah did, which was use layering frames. I decided the 2x2s would work and for a similar look, but not the exact. I had pulled several of these puffy stickers from the Fancy Pants line, A Beautiful Life, the paper that from Fancy Pants came from the same line. I also pulled out my favorite lately alphas. These are from Bo Bunny. I don't remember what they're called, but they are a gold foil over a white foam, which is my favorite style. You get the shine of the chipboard, but you get the stick of the foam, which is also super awesome. I pulled this word silly, and this is actually from Mombi chipboard. It's just kind of one of those that had fun words, friend-themed words. So my entire title is Silly Summer Craving. All summer long, I've been craving a blackberry slush from Sonic. And one day I was joking with my nephew, "You must bring me the largest one they have." I assumed that meant a large. I did not know they had a size called the Route 44. So you see in Hannah's layout, she had put the word magic over here on the side. I think she had layered another word, but I just wanted the Route 44. And I used the mini thickers that come out with Pink Paisley's line. Some of them are Paige Evans, some of them come out with Pink Paisley, their main line. I believe this one side was rose gold, the other side was gold, and I think it came out with their last fall line, which is called, I think, like Auburn Lane or something like that. I then used, I had a couple of stickers from Webster's Pages. I don't remember what line. It was a lightly cat-themed line from last year or the year before. My journaling is right here. And then I also added some wood veneer arrows, and then these bubble enamel dot-ish type things, but they are from Queen & Company. So they're not exactly enamel dots. They're more, I think they were called bubble or bubbles, something along those lines. Not 100% sure. I also added from the Fancy Pants line these photo corners that are also puffy. A word, if you're going to make page kits and you're going to put them on wax paper, you will need to add extra adhesive because a lot of the stick comes up when you pull it off the wax paper. I use a mix of dry or liquid glue, just depending on what the item is. I also decided to add some extra adhesive behind the bubbles, simply because they're not enamel dots, the glue can separate, and I find it's just easier to add the liquid glue under all of them. I then finished off the layout by adding just a little bit more spattering, and I did that with my Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. As I said, in the description box below is a link to all of the other ladies who are part of the Scrappy Shenanigans group. I will also put a link to MK Gunn, who is finishing off our group tomorrow. She is the last day. If you are over on the Facebook group, you can check out all of the other ladies. I will put a link to each of the first day of the other YouTube group. I won't list all of theirs. I'll just put the first day, and then you'll be able to follow along with that if you want. Thank you guys for joining me. I promise I don't normally mess up like this. I hope you had a good time no matter what. If you have any questions, like I didn't mention something that I did that you're curious about how or why I did, please just drop a comment in the description box below. And thank you guys so much for joining me here. If you could flick me a thumbs up, even though I messed up royally, I would really appreciate it. Bye everyone.